Yeah, and what's so great is that the next map is Outsider SE. I mean, that is the map where you can pull off as nutty stuff as you want. I mean, you can do early expand play. You can play Super Turtle style. I mean, the mains are relatively close, so early pushes are also viable. Doing dropship play at any point in the game is incredibly strong. So, I mean, I'm really, really interested to see if there's some way that Casper can pull off a win on this game, because then we're going on to Fighting Spirit, which really is gonna like test who is in the best mental state.
Yeah, so I mean, 2-1 now. We finally got a series. Let's see what happens on game 4 on Outsider SC.
And here we are. This is game four between Casper and Phoenix. And right now, Phoenix is up 2-1 against Casper.
And here we go. We've got Casper's Orange Terran. He's starting at the top right position. And we've got Phoenix's Blue Protoss at the 9 o'clock left position. If you're not familiar with Outsider, it's kind of it's a very unique map actually. It's got a close rush distance through the center, and then kind of this long winding path that's cut off by minerals around the entire outside. So what we're gonna expect to see here is quick pressure play through the middle, and then it's gonna transition into dropship play, shuttle play, and eventually arbiter play. And something we've been saying on other maps like Andromeda and Outsider especially is as the game kind of drags on, it's going to be more in Protoss's favor. Because when he gets those arbiters rolling, those speed shuttles, the mobility of Protoss really takes over and reigns supreme. And Terran can really get trapped into this kind of situation where I need to move my army to defend my backdoor. I need to defend the middle of the map. I need to defend the side. And when Protoss is recalling all those positions, dropping with speed shuttles, it can be very difficult. We saw Idra did really well against Noni with just a nice timing push straight up the middle. I don't think that's the kind of depth that we're going to expect to see from Casper. But I would like to see him do something in the early game to kind of take command of the game. If he sits back and lets Phoenix do his thing and get to Arbiters, he's probably going to have a difficult time here. So looking at their builds, we've got the depot down at 9, so a very nicely timed depot here as opposed to the 8 depot from last time. And going back to Phoenix's, we've got the gateway going down, and you know, just the standard assimilator. So Phoenix really showing that he has he's got depth in his game. He's confident in what he's doing. He's opening the same thing every time and an early probe scout every time. So I really like this from Phoenix that he's playing consistent.
Yeah, you know, the one thing I'm a little concerned about is that on any other map, like Fighting Spirit, Tornado, even Destination, if you just play very safe, it's okay, because you kind of know what your opponent's capable of. Oh, brief note, look at Phoenix, accidentally not sending all guys into the gas. He sent them in, and 2 of them glitched and just sat right out front. It occasionally happens when you send them just a little bit too early, but no big deal. Phoenix has repaired everything and is going on straight away as normal. But anyways, on any other map, it's okay to play safe and standard, because you know that your opponent has to, you know, push to his natural to take his natural expansion. You know that, you know kind of when and where you can get attacked. Oh, with Manor Pylon at the top. Oh, man. That's a little bit of unorthodoxy from Phoenix coming on right now. We've seen nothing but super standard play from him. That's really clever, but I really
like
want to
that.
finish this point. I cannot wait to finish my point. It's going to be awesome. But on this map, on Outsider, because there's those ring of expansions around the outside, I mean, if you play a little too safe, you completely sacrifice any ability to put any pressure on your opponent. He can just expand a ton, and it's really sort of weird the balance you need to strike between being aggressive and playing standard.
So hello, the SCV of Casper walking straight into the main. The Dragoon about a millisecond too late there, but it's not going to get too much information here. Just seeing the one Dragoon, I don't even know if he saw the range, but he's got to assume it just seeing one gateway. Now the probe's going to get cleaned out of Casper's main. He feels comfortable behind his wall, and he's getting an add-on, and looks like he's expanding right now to the back door. And I like this play on Outsider. Very safe and very easy to do.
The one thing that bugs me is the fact that Marines are being made. You can get away really without making almost any Marines, and you can get that command center up, you know, while your factory's in the process of building. because you can just abuse the ramp. You don't even really need anything to defend against Dragoons. You just need like some tanks, and that's it. You don't even really necessarily need siege. So it's still okay though. I mean, these Marines are going to pull back a little bit, but they're going to fend off this Zealot Dragoon harass pretty easily.
Yeah, a lot of damage done to the Dragoon. Second Dragoon coming now. Let's look at the tank. It's just past half done. No siege started. He's got enough minerals to start siege. There it goes, finally. A lot of damage being done on the supply depot. He's going to have to be really quick with this repair. Dragoon's glitching up. They missed about 4 or 5 shots there. That really sucks. Glitching up again, and that lets the tank get out, and that ends the harass. So really unfortunate for Fenix there. If you click those Dragoons too much, they kind of freeze up in a moment of panic, and that's what we saw there.
Hold position is actually one of the best ways to get your Dragoons not to glitch. It glitches like far and away least with the hold position button. Definitely recommend exploiting that quite a bit. And of course, in usual Casper style, as the expansion's getting close to done, we see a starport getting made. No doubt for dropships along the way, and that expansion for Fenix feels a little bit late.
Yeah, I feel like this is a little too safe on Outsider. I mean, you're probably... you've gotten to his wall, he's probably not coming through, and even if he does, I don't feel like you need that observer that quickly if you're going to take a backdoor expansion anyway. I'd like to see that almost before the robotics, or at least earlier than it's done here. But I like that he's transitioning into Reavers to get a little more value out of this robotics.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. The fact that he's transitioning to Reaver, it gets value out of getting those early observers. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if his opponent pushes him right now, the only reason he would need observers is to clear out mines, and you already have your ramp and high ground, and you have Dragoon range. There's going to be almost no way that Vultures can do any pressure on you whatsoever. So I mean, like, really, you're just in fine shape to take that expansion early. Perhaps it's just that as Fenix, you know all the crazy stuff that your opponent can be up to. You've seen him play all these different styles in these games, and you just really want to get an observer into his main and find out what's going on as fast as possible.
Oh yeah, that's also true. And there's the observer seeing the starport. We've got 2 tanks ready here, so I'm going to think the dropship's going to load that and fly around here to the bottom left expansion. But there's already a shuttle ready loading Dragoons for Fenix, and he's actually flying down there already, so it looks like he's really on top of this. It's going to be unfortunate if Casper commits to going down there.
And look at this, Casper's already expanding to that bottom right ring expo. That's a real interesting choice, because that's actually quite vulnerable, but I think you just assume that your opponent's not going to expect this. We do see that dropship hugging around the top side of the map, hopefully going to try to do some damage, but it looks like the Dragoons are already in good position. Oh, look at this. The dropship swings to the left, sees nothing, and immediately pulls back. It looks like Casper really wants to abuse whatever ring expansion his opponent took. Or maybe it looks like he's going into the main.
Yeah, it did look like that. Now he's going to drop on the ramp to try to break the natural, but there is no natural. Sieging regardlessly. Going to get a hit on that Zealot. Now sieging and popping right back in the dropship. That's cute.
It's not so bad. I mean, really, he probably had a vendetta against that Zealot. I mean, he killed 2 of his Mariners at the start of the game. You gotta just drop and, punish him. You can't let that go.
For sure. You know what's a little bit funny about Casper is he kind of has 2 styles we've seen, which is like outright aggression or outright economy. Taking his third, almost so quickly it makes me feel nervous. So it's kind of funny that he plays on both sides, just at the extreme.
Oh my god, this is so close. Oh my god, see, I'm just concerned as to whether or not he's going to be able to see that bottom left expansion. It doesn't look like Protoss is aware of it yet. That SCV that went to build that turret there, right between the double gas, like, kind of pulled everything away, but oh, he ends up spotting it. How unfortunate. And now this is where it gets really tough if you're Casper, because to be honest, it's way uncomfortable to try to bounce back between, your main, your right side ring, and then this, bottom right ring expansion. I mean, you just need so much dropship action. If any Reavers get there at all, you're in tough shape.
Yeah, before you have enough dropships that it looks like TVT and you can just drop your army wherever you want, it's going to be
Yeah.
really uncomfortable. And we see Phoenix having 2 shuttles, and he's getting, oh, he's actually got shuttle speed now. So this is really going to be trouble for Casper now, with these units just popping in and out. He's got more units waiting there to be ferried back in. Here comes the drop. Reaver first, don't do that. Wraith coming out. Oh, gets sniped by the Wraith, very nice. So that's going to be the brunt of the damage taken care of, but still enough Dragoons here. They're going to clean up the tank, and now more units going to be ferried in. So although it's nice that he killed the Reaver, he's still in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, this is just not the best position to be in as Casper. But really, at the same time, you can still do something like just expand to your natural right now, or expand to the top left ring expansion. Because I mean, really, you have a lot of money stockpiled. And, you know, even though you lost the command center, and that's a little unfortunate, you did kill off a Reaver, you've killed off some Dragoons, you've held off a little bit of pressure there. You know, you dropped and you killed the shit out of that one Zealot. I mean, you're feeling at least not, you know, completely lost.
Right, and losing that base and not having taken his natural, and looks like Phoenix, or excuse me, Casper is taking the top left mineral only again. Let's look at the composition of his army. A lot of minerals here. He's making a lot of vultures. He's got factories, but you know he can't really make anything out of them because his gas is coming up 8 at a time. So that's gonna make you feel uncomfortable if you're trying to play metal, as you know you often are in TVP. Now battle going down, siege going up. A lot of Dragoons gonna get taken out. They're trying to rush right in, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe, just maybe. Looks like the armies are just gonna trade for all intents and purposes, and he's gonna gain control of this expansion again.
But that command center is at 94 hit points. I don't know if it's going to burn down. He needs to transfer some workers. I'm blown away that he was able to take that. And look at this. Casper is also taking his left ring expansion and his natural. Just a good old 5 command center opening.
Yeah, really a little bit ridiculous. I guess if he was hoping Phoenix played with a hint of passivity, he would you know, get that to work, but it's not going to happen. Now here comes the shuttle. Oh, they're not even going to drop it. They're going to let it burn down. We don't need to kill that. Now dropping on these 2 tanks, take them out, and looks like he's going to move into the mineral expansion now. And that, oh, he's not. He's just going to leave the units there. Now he's going to take out the command center. So this is the situation we were talking about on Outsider, where as you expand more and more, it gets harder for you to deal with these shuttles and eventually arbiters.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just 1 command center down, 4 to go. It's kind of interesting to note that for the longest time, up until just like 20 seconds ago, Phoenix was just at 3 gateways. He was doing all of that pressure and aggression with those shuttles just with 3 gateways worth of units. And now we're actually seeing 3 starports. 3 dropships made out of 1 starport coming to do a little bit of aggression here. But they're not quite full. I mean, Casper's getting a little overeager to just immediately do some damage to his opponent. I'd like to see a little bit more patience.
It looks like they're all filled with vultures. I'm not sure why he would drop up here, because, you know, vultures kill probes, and there's not going to be any probes over here, so a little weird. Oh, there is a tank in there.
Yeah, I think he might be trying to push this bottom left expansion. I mean, the bottom left expo is almost mined out. Kind of taking a vulnerable return home path, and not really too many tanks around here. Really need to plant some mines super fast. There's no tanks anywhere. Phoenix notices this and just waltzes right in. I mean, the shuttles don't even know where to drop. They're just like sitting still for the time being. Where are those 2 tanks? I know 2 tanks were just recently built. And instead, he's going straight for the mineral line, and there are no tanks anywhere in sight. Oh my god, I think the tanks are rallied to the right natural expansion. Looks like Phoenix just might be able to take this win right here.
Oh, and the shuttle's dropping in the main. The SCV's forced to run, and there's 2 Reavers in there actually, and they're killing. You know, it's not that big deal, but they're killing the depots, which is really annoying. Once those go down, you can't build anything, and that becomes an issue at that point. Reavers coming out, and of course Reavers versus Vultures. That's not a fun fight. So really, this is just such a weird timing, but a nice attack here. Noticing that there was no tanks and just pushing in for the win.
Yeah, and it bothers me that there are 3 tanks hanging out here at the right expansion. I really need to pull those back. You know, Casper trying to do a little bit of damage with his vultures, trying to do a little bit of harassment over here at the bottom left mineral expansion. Looks like he might end up actually even losing his main command center. Ugh. I mean, still so many command centers around the map.
Yeah. We don't want to be in this situation, though. The Reaver's now still working on the depots. Probably not the best of targets. He could probably fly into the left expansion if he even knows it's up. I wouldn't expect it. Yeah, I mean, Casper in just so much trouble here. He's just getting his infrastructure completely shut down, and when you're not making units and you have this many expansions, it's just like you're gonna lose this base, then that base, then that base, then the game. And now targeting the depots still, those go down 3 at a time. Wow, not a good situation.
Oh god, I mean, yeah, right now Phoenix is doubling Casper's food. I only see 5 tanks here for the Terran, and Terran has only just now unsieged those tanks at the right expansion, which of course is now fresh out of minerals, so almost certainly, unless Casper can pull some sort of miracle in the next few seconds, I mean, I don't see any way that he's going to be able to deal with this onslaught of Protoss units. We see 8 gateways in the main of Phoenix and 5 bases.
Yeah, I think the only reason Casper is still alive at this point is because Phoenix is pressing the issue for the main. As soon as he turns his attention to any one of these expansions, it's just gonna, life support is gonna start to shut down for Casper.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, he's getting a little bit of additional gas at that top double gas expo. And, yet another command center going down for Casper has a very clear plan in mind, but the problem is just a little bit too much faltering early on with those early harassment. Look at all these Dragoons and shuttles just pouring into the main. Oh, I don't think there's any way Phoenix is going to be able to hold this, or that Casper is going to be able to hold off this huge attack by Phoenix.
Yeah, still surprised those 3 tanks and vultures are at the right side of the main. He's got to know this big attack was coming in, and he had to get back to defend it. 2 Reavers, oh, the shuttle goes down. That's weird that he lost a shuttle to a turret with 2 Reavers in there, but still kind of a non-issue. Now that the front is breached, and, it's just he doesn't even have the infrastructure to keep making mechanical units, Protoss is just going to keep pouring units in, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, with such a battered economy, there was almost no way that Protoss wouldn't be able to brank the front. There is good game. We do,
what
in
a
fact,
branking indeed.
Yeah, man, some serious, like, 200 max brankage. And, that was a pretty cool series to see. It really demonstrates that, you can play aggressive and unorthodox as you want, but you really need to have some, solid foundations and some really clean, tight execution, as you mentioned. By the way, for any of you who don't know, we are now casting Mondragon versus Shaman right now. So if you just stay on the line, we will happily cast yet another best of 5 series. But yeah, I really was excited to see if there was going to be some cool, pushing antics in Game 4 to see if Casper could come back and, push it all the way to an ace match. But really demonstrates that if you have good execution, that is what really ends up being key, especially in these very intense, nerve-wracking TSL matches.
Right, and looking back at the series kind of at a high level, I feel like Casper got the best of the build orders in all 4 games. And as you said, the one game where he did take it, it was the one where he opened with a little bit, non-standard build, but transitioned into something very solid that worked very well. The other games where he opened unorthodox, there was almost nothing behind it once, the smoke cleared. So, yeah, just want to beat that home that, yes, non-standard stuff works, but you really have to have it planned out. And, if I get into this situation, what am I going to do? You have to know. And that's what Phoenix had behind his game, was just a solid foundation, and that's why he took it, and he certainly deserved to win that series.
Yeah, and that's, I think that's the best way to put it, that if you're doing something unorthodox or unusual or weird, you should pretend that you have no idea what orthodox or unorthodox is. You have to play it as well as you possibly can, and that's when you really start getting that unique style that people will love talking about and love thinking about. And fortunately for us, though, we have a full another set of matches to continue to blab on about. Why don't you introduce what we are about to see next, Captain Chill?